They never expected your silence to hurt this much. They thought losing your voice would be easy, but they didn't realize it would echo louder than anything you ever said. When someone hurts you, they often prepare themselves for a reaction. They expect questions. They expect anger. They expect you to come back, trying to fix what they broke, because as long as you're responding, they still feel connected to you. Even your pain keeps you close to them. But what they never prepare for is your silence. Not the kind that comes from giving up, but the kind that comes from understanding. The moment you realize that explaining your feelings to someone who ignored them once won't change anything now, and so you stop. You stop texting. You stop explaining. You stop trying to make them see something they chose to overlook, and at first they don't notice. Life continues for them. Everything feels normal, but silence has a strange way of growing. It creates a space where your presence once lived, a space they didn't think would matter, until it does. Because one day, without warning, that silence becomes louder than your words ever were. It shows up in moments when they expect you to be there, but you're not. And that's when something begins to shift, because the silence they once ignored starts becoming the very thing they can't escape. 1. The silence they didn't notice at first. The most powerful part about your silence is that at first they don't even realize what it means. When you go silent, it doesn't feel dramatic. There's no final message, no long explanation, no emotional goodbye. You simply stop, not because you didn't care, but because you finally understood something, that not everyone values explanations the way you do, that not everyone listens, even when you speak from the heart. And so, instead of repeating yourself, you choose silence. At first, they don't notice the change. Life feels normal to them. They go through their days the same way. They keep themselves busy with distractions, conversations, and everything that keeps their mind occupied, because people don't immediately feel the absence of something they took for granted. Your presence was always there. Your messages, your attention, your effort, it all felt constant to them, almost expected. And when something feels expected, it's easy to overlook its importance. So in the beginning, your silence feels small, like a temporary pause, like something that will fix itself with time. They assume you'll come back. They assume you'll speak again, because that's what you've always done before. But this time, something is different. You're not waiting for the right moment to respond. You're not thinking about what to say next. You've stepped back in a way they didn't expect. And slowly, without realizing it, life begins to change around them. The space where your presence once existed starts becoming noticeable, not immediately, but gradually. And that's when the silence begins to take its first real form, because what they thought was temporary is slowly becoming permanent. 2. When silence starts speaking. The moment your silence begins to hurt is the moment they finally start listening. At some point, something shifts, not suddenly, but quietly. They notice it in small moments, a time when they expect a message from you, and nothing comes. A moment when they want to share something, but realize you're no longer the person they turn to. At first, it feels strange, unfamiliar, because they were used to you being there, used to your presence filling the gaps in their day. But now, those gaps feel different, empty, and that's when your silence begins to feel real. They start checking their phone more often, rereading old conversations, thinking about the last time you spoke, trying to understand when things changed. Because silence doesn't just remove sound, it creates questions. Questions they never thought they would ask. Why did they stop talking? Did something change? Are they really gone? And slowly, something deeper begins to happen. They start realizing that your silence isn't random. It means something, because people don't just disappear emotionally without a reason, especially not someone who once cared deeply. And that thought begins to stay with them in quiet moments, in conversations that don't feel the same anymore, in situations where they expect your presence, but are met with nothing. And for the first time, they begin to feel something they didn't expect. The weight of your absence, because when you were there, your presence felt normal. But now that you're gone, it feels irreplaceable. And that's when your silence starts speaking louder than anything you ever said. 3. When silence turns into realization. And this is where everything changes. When your silence stops being confusing and starts becoming clear. At first, they questioned your silence. They tried to understand it. They wondered if it was temporary. They told themselves you would come back the way you always did. But now, that belief begins to fade. Because the silence hasn't broken, it has stayed. And the longer it stays, the more it starts to mean something they can't ignore. They begin looking back, replaying moments they once overlooked, the times you tried to explain how you felt, the times you stayed patient when things weren't easy, the times you gave them chances they didn't fully appreciate. Back then, those moments didn't seem important to them. Now they feel different. Now they see the effort. Now they understand the care behind your actions. And slowly, a realization begins to form. You didn't go silent because you stopped caring. You went silent because you cared too much. And it wasn't being valued. That thought hits differently, because it forces them to see something they avoided before. Your silence isn't distance. It's a response to everything that went unheard. And once they understand that, something shifts inside them. They stop asking why you're quiet and start understanding what their actions created. That's when the silence begins to hurt. Not because you're gone, but because they finally understand what your presence meant. They begin to feel the absence in a deeper way. Not just missing your messages, but missing the way you made them feel. The way you listened, the way you stayed, the way you showed up without being asked. And that's when the truth becomes clear. The silence they once ignored is now showing them everything they failed to see before. 4. When they try to break the silence. And then comes the moment they didn't expect. The moment they want to hear your voice again. By now, your silence has changed everything. It's no longer something they can ignore. It's something they feel. Every memory, every quiet moment, every realization has led them here. And slowly, a thought begins to form in their mind. Maybe I should reach out. At first, it feels simple. Just one message, just one, hey, just one attempt to bring back what used to exist. They tell themselves maybe it's not too late. Maybe you'll respond the way you used to. Maybe things can still go back to how they were. But the deeper they think about it, the more uncertain they become, because this silence feels different. It doesn't feel like distance, it feels final, and that's when a question quietly appears in their mind. What if they've already moved on? Because time doesn't just pass, it changes people. The version of you that once replied instantly. The version of you that tried to fix everything. The version of you that stayed no matter what. That version of you has changed. Not because you stopped caring, but because you learned something important. You learned that your voice should not be wasted where it isn't valued. And the more they think about reaching out, the more they begin to understand something that makes them hesitate. They may want to hear from you again, but they're no longer sure if they deserve to. Because your silence isn't just absence anymore, it's a boundary, a quiet decision you made to protect yourself. And that realization makes the moment heavier than they expected, because now breaking the silence isn't just about sending a message, it's about facing the possibility that the person who once always responded may choose not to anymore. 5. The silence they feel the most. And in the end, the silence they once ignored becomes the loudest thing in their life, because there comes a moment when they stop trying to understand it and finally feel it, not just as absence, but as something real, something heavy. They begin to see everything clearly, the way you used to show up for them, the way you stayed, even when things weren't easy, the way you gave your time, your attention, your care, without asking for anything in return. And slowly, they understand something they didn't see before. Your voice wasn't just communication, it was connection, it was comfort, it was presence, and now it's gone. Not because you disappeared, but because you chose to. You chose to stop speaking where you weren't being heard. You chose to step back from a place where your effort wasn't being valued. You chose peace over constantly trying to prove your worth. And that's the part they never expected. Because while they thought your silence would make things easier, it slowly became the thing they feel the most. In quiet moments, in conversations that don't feel the same, in times when they wish they could hear from you again, but can't. And that's when the truth fully settles in. The silence they once ignored is now the very thing that reminds them of everything they lost. Because your absence didn't just remove noise, it revealed value. And sometimes that becomes the hardest lesson of all. So if you've ever chosen silence after being hurt, remember this. Silence is not weakness, it's understanding, it's growth. It's knowing when your voice deserves to be heard and when it's better to walk away. If this message touched your heart, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this reminder today. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all.